What's going on, everyone? Next Gen Dante here, coming at you with your morning watch list. So today's focus is going to be preparing for the March Madness that is Jay Powell and the Fed and what they're going to be saying today. So the focus today is really going to be on Jay Powell. Yesterday, we actually ended up pushing to another all-time high, record high in the S&P 500. It looked really good. Even with the close, I think we did have another closing high. Oh no, we didn't actually. Just missed that mark by that's just a few points. That being said, the focus here is really going to be on Powell and how he's going to be moving what he's going to say on the rates and how he's going to react to the questions. Now, as I said before, I don't think Powell is going to say anything differently. He's been having the same mantra the whole time. But if you saw here, last time he didn't say anything differently. We ended up gapping down, and that's what amounted to this intense sell-off in all of the tech right here in the same day. We bounced off these levels. So it's going to be key. It's not only just it's not just what he says, but how he says it. Yeah, he has to kind of smooth talk his way out of this one, because the pressure seems to be on Jay Powell with all these news headlines and everything going on where people are like blaming Powell and the Fed for rising rates and the market crashing. So he has to find a way to say that, hey, everything's fine, but at the same time, we're not going to change anything. And even though we're not going to change anything, that doesn't mean things are getting worse. They're actually getting better. So it's a weird situation that Powell finds himself in today. And it's up to him to talk his way out of that. That being said, we're going to have to pay key attention to him and what that does to the overall levels of the market. So as I mentioned before, yesterday I was talking about the QQQ play. That play actually ended up making some money because we ended up hitting 324.20 on the high, and that might have been the high to sell. We bought that play early on in the day that I was talking about in yesterday's watch list. However, I want you to pay attention to here, because at 324.45, that's we really need to get to 325 on the Qs to go forward. That's going to be your breakout point. Because if you look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs in the same area. So now this has turned into a brick wall for tech. So that being said, if we got to watch out for TLT, if the bond yield rates start rising like crazy and tech starts selling off, this could mean that this could be a top for tech, like I mentioned earlier. But it's all going to come down to how Powell answers these questions today. Like, where are we? How are we doing? We're also going to want to pay attention to the economic data and how people are going to look at that and price that in. Because if these bond yield rates start moving again, even though it seems like the correlation has kind of broken a little bit, because we did push to all-time record highs in the S&P 500 as this thing was coming down. So the market seems like the correlation is seemed to be breaking here. It's not as much, but we still want to pay attention to how he says it during this meeting, because the market's probably going to move a little bit into the meeting, but afterwards we're going to be able to play the direction. So that being said, let's talk about some potential plays that we could do today. So looking at this, first thing is going to be looking at TLT for the snitch, the direction of which we think the market's going to go, and then we can look at the SPY and the QQQ. We can look at the SPY and the QQQ to see if we get any big movements in these ETFs, signaling a change in the market and how they feel. But that's why I put AKA Tesla puts. If we look at Tesla is a big component of the S&P 500, as well as a leader for tech in general. Even though it is a car company, it's kind of funny how that works. However, it does lead tech, and if we do see it sell off, it's going to lead the Qs down, along with it could lead Apple to leaking as well, leading for a sell off in tech in general. So if we look here, It's along the same lines as the QQQ. We kind of hit that wall here. This is the wall of resistance that we have to break past in order to go forward, and it's going to be in the 700 area. So like once we get past 740, just like if we get past 325 in the Qs, I mean, it's green skies upwards and back to our retracement back to here. I think we can go all the way, push all the way back to 800. But until that happens, we're gonna have to watch how tech reacts, because we could actually play into some Tesla puts, even though they're kind of already up here. Though, I mean, Tesla moves a lot. We saw it was moving pretty slow today until up and towards the end. We ended up selling 31 points on the day. But if we have a negative reaction to tech, that we know that this thing, not only does it go up $100 a day, it can go down $100 in a day. So we're gonna be looking to see how we can play this momentum. This is going to be a pure momentum trade here, because if then the market starts rolling over, Tesla is going to be one of your leaders on the downside. So we're going to be paying attention to that, as well as IWM. Now, I'm not sure if I talked about IWM on the watch list before, but I talked about this in the Discord. IWM is one of these fantastic ETFs that tracks small cap companies. It tracks 2,000 small cap companies, and because small caps have been going crazy as it did, the reason why I really like this is because small caps are going crazy. But also, if you look here at the levels that it held during the September tech wreck, we see that even during that time, it had the most performance out of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ triple Qs. It outperformed them both here in percentage wise. So this ETF has been a dream to trade, really, from the dips. And look here that every dip seems to be one that is willing to buy. So if we get another pullback here along with the market, we'll be positioning myself into this for a trade on the upside, because the way that this thing bounces, I mean, this thing leaps and it'll move up $5 to $7 in a day, and that's like a normal range, which is crazy for an ETF, which makes it really fun to play, because on the upside and the downside, you know, you can have big movements that's going to affect the option pricing. It was a kind of a slower day because it only moved $3.92 there in the session on the downside. But if we get a continuous downwards here and fall, maybe create a support down here, don't catch a falling knife, we can potentially ride this back up to the all-time high again. That just seems to be the play here. Another thing that we're going to be looking at is Roblox. Now, Roblox is the ETF. I don't know if you've already bought it, but they have options now. This means that it's going to get a whole lot more volatile. You can even see today that the option chain is struggling to price in with these missed movements. They don't know how to price this in. There's a little bit of broken chain here, but it's because it's newer. However, these option prices can push it up and it could also push it down. So we're going to see this volatility here and see where it can set a range. We can get some strong support. I think that we could either play this up or down. Less of a momentum trade, more of a watch for now, to see where we can, find some support at. It's brand new, but it does have room to push upwards now that it's kind of met the criteria for that. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And then finally, Bitcoin. We had a key reversal on the day that Bitcoin hit the all-time high, and shout out to Kayla, who had called out that Bitcoin usually pulls back towards, mid-March here. And that's kind of what we're seeing on the chart here. And the reason I say key reversal is because it even though it hit these highs over the weekend, we came back down to the low within the same session, or kind of like the same session. So like we hit the high and then we immediately dropped down, and in the high and then back to the low like that, as fast as that is, it may signal that we may see more sell-off coming in Bitcoin to fall back down to here, to the previous support down here in the lower 5,000s level, back to 49. Okay. Again, Kayla had called that out, that Bitcoin usually pulls back around this time in March. So shout out to Kayla for that one, if you were in the Discord and saw that play. So that being said, we're going to be looking at plays like Mara and BTB and Riot. Those are the ones that are leverage Bitcoin on the upside. They're all Bitcoin leverage plays, but the one that I like the best is going to be Mara, because I feel like Mara follows more closely in correlation to the Bitcoin leverage play out of all of those little companies there. BTB, Riot, and Mara follows it more closely. I think it's easier to trade, and it has a better correlation. I think Riot messed up with a bunch of offerings, as well as BTB. Something weird. It kind of the shares kind of messed it up a little bit. The company kind of messed up the shares a little bit. It makes it harder to trade. But I mean, this one, with these companies, you really can't look at the pattern or day in, day out. It's really all dependent on, is Bitcoin going up and making all-time highs, or is Bitcoin falling? And that's really how you can play these guys. But if we get a dip here and then Bitcoin decides to wants to recover throughout the next month here, this could make Mara a good play to retrace back to the 40 area. But we'll see how it moves with Bitcoin. We can also look at potentially Square and PayPal to see how they're moving along with the Bitcoin news as well. But they have other things going with them besides Bitcoin. They're not a pure Bitcoin leverage play. However, they do have upside when Bitcoin hits all-time highs. So these are plays to look at as well. So that being said, guys, the keys for today is just going to be watching Powell, seeing how tech reacts to this wall here. Can we make a higher low and then find ourselves support? And then can we push up past the 325? That's the key. Once we get past the 325, you see there's not much here to hold it down. Pushing up back to the 330 handle, there's really not much there. But we just have this wall here. So if we get this past here, all-time highs are within the range. But keep in mind that we're still waiting on Powell. This could still get crazy. Don't know what's gonna happen. It'd be the top. And then finally, still looking at Disney for a potential play. We got some consolidation like I was waiting for. So looking towards this weekend to buy. But I will alert if we go into this play, and if I see the setup, if I see the specific setup, I will alert you guys. And for everyone that's not in the Discord, you can find a link in the description below at thenextgeninvestors.com. You can find information about how to join the Discord, and then we'll set you up. We got the alerts, we got the team, we got a community of people who are working together to try to make money. Stay safe, guys. Don't FOMO. Don't blow up your accounts. One day at a time. There's always another opportunity. Buy the dip, sell the rip. I'll catch you guys next time.